So we have all been listening to the hype about bird flu for a couple of weeks now. The fear mentality is being fed, and the news is regurgitating the danger narrative in full force. I just couldn't shut up anymore and had to let people know the facts about this virus that's been around for ages, and now all of a sudden, it's a big deal. A recent report by the Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, disclosed that 1 in 5 samples of commercially sold pasteurized milk showed traces of highly pathogenic avian influenza, or HPAI. Now let's nip this in the bud right now. It's only highly pathogenic in birds, but they don't tell you that. More commonly known as bird flu, the virus primarily infects birds, but has also been found in other mammals, including cows. It's crucial to note that only fragments were found, not live or infectious. This virus fragment thing is becoming a trend. That's how they are saying the mRNA vaccines work. The government wants you to know that the pasteurization process, which involves heating the milk to kill bacteria and other harmful agents, assures the safety of commercial milk. In addition to this, they say that measures are in place to prevent infected cow milk from entering the supply chain. This doesn't entirely remove the potential risks. I mean, really, this virus is not this deadly monster ravaging our world. There's a minute possibility. Put it in perspective. I won't be rushing out to get a vaccine. I am learning that anything is possible. The stringent regulations of drugs is long gone, and some don't have to follow the rules. And I am learning that we have been trained to believe anything if the TV says so. I hope you will subscribe to my channel and take the information that I give you to research further. So, I was letting all the fear porn about bird flu go because it wasn't really impacting anyone. But now, federal health officials announced on Wednesday that the U.S. has developed 2 vaccines in response to the threat of the bird flu strain currently affecting dairy cows, potentially spreading to humans. These vaccines could be distributed widely within weeks if necessary. Currently, there is no evidence of person-to-person transmission of the H5N1 strain. However, a dairy worker in Texas who had close contact with infected cattle experienced a mild infection and developed conjunctivitis, an eye inflammation, in April. At a briefing, government health officials stated their readiness for the possibility of the H5N1 virus transferring from animals to humans or between humans. The virus has affected dairy cows in at least 36 herds across 9 states, sparking concerns that mutations could enable easier transmission to humans. What I want to know is, who is paying for all this research for a vaccine against an infection that only occurs in birds and has never been transmitted to a human? I could be wrong, but I would think that there are many diseases that research money could be put into, that could change millions of people's lives, and we are spending it on a vaccine for something that has never happened. I don't get it. So here's some more of the rationale. Dimitra Daskalakis, director of the National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases, stated during the call that studies suggest the vaccines would offer substantial protection against the outbreak in cattle. Both vaccine candidates are already part of the nation's stockpile, albeit in limited quantities. OMG, they are planning on stockpiling the vaccines? Additionally, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, revealed they are testing blood samples from individuals previously vaccinated against influenza to evaluate immune responses, without specifying the vaccine used. Assistant Secretary for Preparedness and Response at the Department of Health and Human Services, Dawn O'Connell, disclosed that hundreds of thousands of pre-filled syringes and vials are prepared for shipping if required. Plans include deploying hundreds of thousands of doses within weeks and potentially over 100 million doses within 3 to 4 months. The vaccines, produced using conventional methods, would require approval from the FDA before distribution. Okay, are you hearing this? They expect to ship them within weeks, but they don't have FDA approval. O'Connell mentioned the pursuit of a third vaccine employing mRNA technology, similar to Pfizer's and Moderna's COVID vaccines, which could expedite production. Dr. William Schaffner from Vanderbilt University Medical Center emphasized the importance of having vaccine candidates ready to shorten the time between development and distribution, citing the 2009 H1N1 swine flu pandemic's delayed response. Despite progress, uncertainties persist regarding vaccine efficacy against infection and severe illness, as highlighted by Dr. Judith O'Donnell from Penn Presbyterian Medical Center. The U.S. holds contracts with 3 manufacturers for pandemic influenza vaccines, one of which is CSL Seqirus, which lacks data on vaccine effectiveness due to limited human H5N1 cases. To address potential challenges, the government has potential adjuvants to enhance vaccine efficacy. it remains unclear how the H5N1 strain might affect people, particularly given the rarity of human infections. Addressing vaccine skepticism and fatigue from the COVID-19 pandemic may require an extensive vaccine campaign. The government would likely need to begin a vaccine campaign to persuade people to get vaccinated, according to O'Donnell. I believe that we are beginning to see that campaign already. If you are watching the mainstream media, so be alert because there may be some new reason that you need to get an H5N1 vaccine in the future. They are ramping up. In conclusion, while the findings of bird flu traces in commercial milk are concerning, it's important to remember that the risk to consumers is minimal for many reasons. However, this incident serves as a reminder of the risks associated with any kind of processed food. Yes, it's not only canned soup and TV dinners that are processed. Your meat and dairy are loaded with risks. This emphasizes the importance of buying from local farmers and farmers markets whenever possible. Also, people should be drinking nut milks these days. They are fortified, nutritious, and lactose-free. Eliminating animals in our food supply would eliminate animal-borne diseases if you are so concerned that you want to go get a vaccine. I suspect that we're going to hear a lot more on bird flu over the coming months. Who knows? Maybe it will be the big new pandemic, but now you are armed with a bit more knowledge and you can make an informed decision should you find yourself being pressured to take a vaccine for bird flu in the future. Bottom line is that the bird flu or H5N1 infection that you are hearing so much about in the media is quite rare in humans. It may infect birds and cattle, but according to FDA, the pasteurization process kills the H5N1, so we have nothing to worry about. So we must compare the risk of getting this rare virus against the potential risks of taking an unapproved drug with insufficient testing and significant risks. The vaccine forces an autoimmune response from the body, very similar to the COVID vaccine due to the mRNA delivery system. And we are now identifying many serious side effects with mRNA vaccines. It's your choice. You can move away from animal and processed meat products, and you can boost your immunity with various foods, herbs, and practices, or you can feed the fear and run out and get another experimental vaccine for an infection that you will likely never have. Just because a new vaccine or drug is released doesn't mean that everyone should run out and get it. Each human body is very specific, and some demographics will have predictable, unintended side effects. Then there are concerns that our media and regulatory bodies will not be forthcoming when potential untoward events occur as they did with COVID-19. My goal is to take the fear and confusion out of difficult to understand and complex subjects. If you like my material, it really helps if you share my videos, subscribe to my channel, or tell me how you feel by commenting under this video or in our YouTube community. So don't feed the fear, break free and learn how to heal your body naturally.